in being declassified from the human race and then brought down to a lower race that symbolized color. When we talk black, white, mulatto, he did not want us to be classified in these racial categories, but to be elevated back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America. These things that were talked about were just reminders of who we were in the past and what our fight has been in this country. We did not want to be called Negro. We did not want to be called a color.
Tell everyone about Drew Ali, 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 tell everyone. Let the world know Drew Ali came, brought a flag, religion, and free national name. Brought an ID card, don't flash at the hybrid. Learn about the righteous and when we were the pirates. Ancestral creed, clandestine heed, warnings of the prophet, they can't intercede. Canaanite, Hittite, Amorite brethren, leading new homes to Atlantis direction. More south and central, flag continental, founder and uniting of the Moorish holy temple of science. Nationality is alliance, always in defiance of their worship compliance. Active, not passive, estate is massive. Use the compass, draw circles around your passions. Carpenter's tool in the man workshop. Corsica bandana covered eyes in bird box. Return to ancestors' mind, descendants of ancients. Forget the mundane, knowledge attainments guided by the principles of our own laws and customs. If they teach but don't bring up Drew Ali, don't trust them. Tell everyone about Drew Ali, 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 tell everyone. Tell everyone about Drew Ali, 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 tell everyone.
I told a Filipino woman about Drew Ali. We got more into the pedigree. She said she more. I said that meant more than me. Couldn't have this conversation a few years back when I was a few years black. 2,000 years I cried in tears, but I'm back. Still here, thought manifested from a higher tier. I appear spirit and flesh with divine warnings. Choose life or death. I heard my mother utter to the Negro, black or color, African American, and that's another. Moors be yourself, no other. You're the last puzzle in place, now move others. Hatred, slander, lewdness, murders. The pleasure of the lower, rich in promise, so you can prevent effects from causes. So a seed planted, so a seed groweth. Deep in the soil, with love, truth, peace, freedom and justice. Born on a Friday, I put that on Venus. Creative faith, Allah use a genius. You sent your last prophet to uplift me, so I gotta tell everybody. Tell everyone about Drew Ali, 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 tell everyone. Tell everyone about Drew Ali, 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 tell everyone, tell everyone, tell everyone. Raka! North Star! That way. What's this thing? Canaanland. Read off, we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all pays. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before and still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules are first. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle sevens first. Raka! North Star! Read our VP every day. Uplift the V cause we all base. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No, but Drew, X, do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Garvey, whirlwind ×2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the worst government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law and master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? Offense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty mortals and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so past most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, cold in the light, marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, in reptilian henna, enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream, focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam, not even a gymnast, whenever I flip this, as above so below, get out when within this, don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English, Drew Ali the water, watch your flames get extinguished, living in your higher lower self is relinquished, reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Your daughters and put them in front of your computer screen or your TV or your phone, whichever one you're viewing this from. And hi daughter, I don't know your name, but hi. And I want to let you know that beauty is internal. And I know a lot of you may not know what internal means, but internal means inside. So beauty is inside of you. Yeah, you may not have all the hair care products or the makeup production that you may want, but you are still beautiful. Beauty comes naturally. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need any products. All you need is yourself, your personality. And like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one person may think that you don't look so good, and the next person may think that you look beautiful. So never judge yourself on how other people may think of you as, and products and hair care. Mothers, I want you to get your daughters and put them in front of your computer screen or your TV or your phone, whichever one you're viewing this from. And hi daughter, I don't know your name, but Hi, and I want to let you know that beauty is internal. And I know a lot of you may not know what internal means, but internal means inside. So beauty is inside of you. Yeah, you may not have all the hair care products or the makeup production that you may want, but you are still beautiful. Beauty comes naturally. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need any products. All you need is yourself, your personality. And like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one person may think that you don't look so good, and the next person may think that you look beautiful. So never judge yourself on how other people may think of you as, and products and hair care. Mothers, I want you to get your daughters and put them in front of your computer screen or your TV or your phone, whichever one you're viewing this from. And hi, daughter, I don't know your name, but hi. And I want to let you know that beauty is internal. And I know a lot of you may not know what internal means, but internal means inside. So beauty is inside of you. Yeah, you may not have all the hair care products or the makeup production that you may want, but you are still beautiful. Beauty comes naturally. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need any products. All you need is yourself, your personality. And like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one person may think that you don't look so good, and the next person may think that you look beautiful. So never judge yourself on how other people may think of you as, and products and hair care. Mothers, I want you to get your daughters and put them in front of your computer screen or your TV or your phone, whichever one you're viewing this from. And hi, daughter, I don't know your name, but hi. And I want to let you know that beauty is internal. And I know a lot of you may not know what internal means, but internal means inside. So beauty is inside of you. Yeah, you may not have all the hair care products or the makeup production that you may want, but you are still beautiful. Beauty comes naturally. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need any products. All you need is yourself, your personality. And like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one person may think that you don't look so good, and the next person may think that you look beautiful. So never judge yourself on how other people may think of you as, and products and hair care. Mothers, I want you to get your daughters and put them in front of your computer screen or your TV or your phone, whichever one you're viewing this from. And hi, daughter, I don't know your name, but hi. And I want to let you know that beauty is internal. And I know a lot of you may not know what internal means, but internal means inside. So beauty is inside of you. Yeah, you may not have all the hair care products or the makeup production that you may want, but you are still beautiful. Beauty comes naturally. You don't need anybody else's opinion. You don't need any products. All you need is yourself, your personality. And like I say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one person may think that you don't look so good, and the next person may think that you look beautiful. So never judge.
Out of print. And right now, some of the books I have, people are selling for $3,000 to $6,000. And so I plan on getting rid of some of those books in order to get my money back up, in order to get back in my groove, but yeah, threw my stuff out. It was just a way to get at me, but everything come back around, I just figure a way. It hurt. That definitely was a dagger. I still got a bruise there, but yeah, that's how people get at us, because those books, man, the thing is about the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, is that he taught us to be absolutely fearless. A lot of people don't give him the recognition because a lot of our people are in specific religions. They're still stuck in a monotheistic school of thinking, and then they represent those religions. So they're defending the religious institution instead of paying attention to what's being taught in order to dissect and go to the origin of what those teachings are, and so that's what happens. But we don't have anything against, say, the Muslims. We don't have anything against brothers and sisters that are in Islam. Our teaching, for the most part, this is what it is. We have our own stuff. To everybody, there's a guide, a messenger, a doctrine, scriptures even, given to all people. For the last 6,000 years, we thought that the Bible, the Quran, and all those scriptures and all those prophets was ours. We ignored the fact that our oppressors were praying to the same gods for us to stay oppressed, and those gods were listening to them because we're still oppressed. Okay? And the reason why we didn't see that is because we've been under a 6,000-year spell, a hypnotic trance that has us seeing good for bad, bad for good, spiritual ignorance and racial blindness. So we still dependent on a system and on people that have shown historically that they mean no good for us. And their power structure has been in their religious doctrines, be it Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. And so what Dr. York did was walk us through all those schools, which we'll see soon that it's our way as Sabaeans. The ancient Sabaeans were some of the elite scholars of the ancient world. But what they would do was they would hide inside of the monotheistic religions to guide the captives out of it by making them specialists on the linguistics, making them specialists on the etymology of the words, where these things come from, and educating them on spiritual matters, because we're spiritually ignorant. So we don't know the difference between a spirit that's good for us or bad for us, because we were taught by sick-spirited people. You know what I'm saying? So that's, it's complex. There's so many different levels to it. But ultimately,
well, let me go to the Holy Tablets by Dr. Malachi Z. York L. The Holy Tablets by Dr. York. This is Dr. York's Holy Tablets. Dr. York said in the Holy Tablets, Chapter 2, El Yarutat, the slaves. Begin all acts and thinking by using El Kulum, the all. A mission to the planet Earth. 19 times 10 equals 190. Lo, it is important for you to receive this communication because of the misconceptions that have been embedded in you for thousands of years that must be eliminated. You must change your thought patterns. Listen to me, my children. Accept only the facts, and it will lead you, if you are worthy. We have had in our midst some great teachers, such as Dus Ali of Nubia, teacher of these teachers. Chapter 2. We have had in our midst some great teachers, such as Dus Ali of Nubia, teacher of these teachers. He followed the teachings of the Ansarullah of Sudan, Northeast Africa. He was under the teachings of the great Muhammad Ahmed al-Mahdi of the Sudan. Noble Drew Ali, teacher of the Moorish American Moabites, was taught by Dus Ali. Noble Drew Ali came from Cherokee, North Carolina in America. Words of one of our greatest teachers, Noble Drew Ali, warning for all young men. Beware, young man, beware of all the allurements of wantonness, and let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. And all that stuff's underlined. And that's Dr. Malachi York quoting Noble Drew Ali as one of the great teachers of our people, when he did his research and wrote his 500 billion books or whatever like that, he gave honors to Noble Drew Ali and he gave honors to Deuce Muhammad Ali. Has his picture up in their stuff. He was so inspired by Noble Drew Ali that in the holy tablets that he created for the Nuwapians, he took teachings of Noble Drew Ali for his holy book for the Nuwapians. That he's going to put his name in and say, this is my holy book, I brought this for you. Are you incompetent, or are you just choosing to be dumb? Because how is it the holy tablets has chapters from the Holy Quran of the Moor Science Temple, which was supposed to be for the Moors and the Moor Science Temple, in his stuff? Social duties, warning for all young men. Got Deuce Ali up in there, fezzes up, now wearing some little fake fez. Teacher of the teachers. Teacher of the teachers. Deuce Muhammad Ali. Of course, I have to put the Prophet in there. Can't leave him out. Noble Drew Ali, teacher of the Moorish American Moabites. And keep in mind, this is holy tablets. This is not has all in there. Justice in there, has charity in there. Just go check your Quran. Sincerity, gratitude. Know thyself, the breath of heaven. How come they didn't go on 2 hours on Dr. G and talk about this? Talk about Dr. York L taking pretty much half the Quran and putting it in his holy book for the Nuwapians. They're not going to tell you about that. Have it all in there. And then call this chapter the slaves. And this is the teacher of the teachers. He goes through the whole crew, letting the people know where the foundation lies. Where he could say whatever he wants, but there's a foundation. There's a foundation. Everybody knows somebody who lived on the land. And everybody knows it was sovereignty going on. There was almost no going outside for anything. Right? Then he has Elijah in here too. Right. Everybody knows that's Elijah Poole Bay. Everybody knows that's Elijah Poole Bay. And then if he's Elijah Muhammad, he's Elijah Muhammad Bey. Not just Elijah Muhammad only. He's Elijah Muhammad Bey. If he's Poole Bey, when Noble Drew Ali was around, and then after Noble Drew Ali transitioned, now he's just Elijah Muhammad and no Bey. You're not going to ask questions? Because anybody could do research and know that that's Elijah Poole Bey. Basic research. Just like Benjamin Banneker is a Bay. And nobody told you that Benjamin Banneker was a Bay. You think about some black guy doing something. Because what they're caught up in is when Dr. York used to call himself the prophet, Al-Mahdi, the Redeemer. Seven seal opener. You know the seven seal opener? You're Malachi York L. What are you talking about? Oh, if you're Imam Isa Al-Hadi, there's no Al-Mahdi on there. There's none of that. Al-Hadi L. Because you already know that you created a constitution for the Nuwapian Moors. Why would the Nuwapian Moors have a constitution if they're not Moors? And why aren't the Nuwapians calling themselves Moors? If they have a constitution for the nation of Moors called Nuwapian, then how come they're talking about Tamaray and all this? Where do you get Tamaray from? That's not what Dr. York said. If you're Nuwapian nation of Moors, right? And you are the United Nuwapian Nation of Moors of the world. And then Noble Drew Ali said, divine and national movement of the world. What do you think? He's not jacking Drew Ali stuff for his stuff? You trying to tell me he's not jacking Drew Ali stuff for his stuff? We just told you in the Holy Quran, the Nuwapian Holy Quran, where he's quoting Noble Drew Ali in it. And not just quoting 2 lines, chapters. So if he took these chapters from Noble Drew Ali and then started some Nuwapian stuff, and then the holy book of the Nuwapian stuff is referencing Noble Drew Ali as one of the great teachers, shouldn't you be studying the teachers of your master teacher, Dr. Malachi York L? Shouldn't you be studying Deuce Muhammad Ali, see who he is? Shouldn't you be studying Noble Drew Ali, see who he is? Because if your master teacher is going to give him mention to the point of putting him in your holy book, Nuwapians, if he's in your holy book, then what's the problem? Oh, but you're not going to go with that. All right, well, how about this? Could we go with this, that you have a United Nuwapian Nation of Moors constitution? And then in it, your master teacher is telling you he's L, and of the Nuwapian jurisdiction, he's the president of the Yamasee tribe of Native Americans. The United Nuwapian Nation of Moors Supreme Grand Master, Malachi Zadok York L. What are you telling me about Tamaray and all this? How you guys even let them bulldoze the land and all that? How do you... If he was all this, his sellout was all the way up to the top. if he was all this, who are the people under him? Who was under the Supreme Grand Master? Because it's not just going to be him only. There's obviously going to be people below him that got positions. Just like it's Grand Sheik, and then under Grand Sheik there's positions. So the sellout gets deep when you start talking about Noble Drew Ali. When you start talking about Moorish nationality and birthrights and your free national name and El and Bey De Al Ali and your own jurisdiction as Moors, because everywhere is your land, but you're just too coward to claim it. You want to be Negro black colored and get benefits. Not realizing just feeding the beast that you're complaining about that's violating you. Well, stop feeding them. What did they say? You're mad the bears are eating you, and then the people have the signs all over the place, don't feed the bears. Right? You're only mad that you're getting eaten by bears. The sign right there told you don't feed the bears. Why are you even bringing food in here? But who don't hear will feel. Right? And all these people are going to get this work because Drew Ali's the man, because everybody took his program and did something with it. And as soon as they reached the pinnacle of doing what they were going to do with what Noble Drew Ali gave them, here comes Highwayman, chop them down. And then here comes the dummies. Either they're going to burn the place down, and there's only their stuff getting burned down, or they're just going to sit there and play religious Moors. And Moors could get kidnapped, and Moors could get arrested, and Moors can whatever. But we're just going to be some praying Moors over here. We're not going to... Oh, any Moors that are doing renegade stuff? Oh, we don't want anything to do with those Moors. Those Moors that are radical? Oh, they let women wear fezzes? Oh, we don't want anything to do with those Moors. We're just the prey Moors over here. We're just the prey Moors. So he brought them all this, and they flushed it down the toilet on him. And now he's in Supermax, and they're out here talking about Tamaray Nation, Nuwapian BS. When the Supreme Grand Master of their jurisdiction, Rep Noble Drew Ali, harder than these people today calling themselves Nuwapians. Their master teacher, their Supreme Grand Master, rep for Drew Ali harder than they do right now talking about Tamaray, and then they have no land to talk for it. When they had everything was given to them by him. Everything. And what did they do? Sold out. That's why we can't get anywhere, because of these traders and sellouts. Right? The Constitution of the United Nuwapian Nation of Moors, UNNM, an indigenous peoples document drafted by Maku, Chief Black Eagle of the Yamasee tribe of Native Americans, Seminole, Creek, Shoshone, Washita Mound Builders, known as Malachi Z. York L. of the United Nuwapian Nation of Moors. Our President and Supreme Grand Master, Naya Malachi Zadok York L., June 26, 1992. They got all this? They got all this? How come they're not talking like this? How come they're not talking like this? Right? Black's Law Dictionary reference. What's a constitution? American law definition of Constitution. Fifth Chief Justice Roger Brooke Taney. Decision in the Dred Scott case. Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. Article 31. This is all the stuff why they got the land and all that stuff. You're playing games. But you're not Moors. And now you have nothing and you're telling me about some Tamaray or whatever. Why don't you just be Moors and get all the stuff back? But no, they won't do that. They won't be the Nuwaubian nation of Moors. They want to be some ancient Egyptian BS. Lost. Don't even know that they're in Egypt over here. Dummy. I think he built pyramids and stuff over here. Because over here is Egypt. You're just dumb. This is why our people lose all the time. Incompetence. Master teacher did everything. Told these people, wear the mask of God. Told them that. I had the CD where he told them, everything that I'm doing is for you, people. All you have to do is put on your Pharaoh mask. That's all you have to do. Just put it on. And everything is going to be right and exact. I could only do so much. Like I'm getting old. Right? This is him complaining. He stepped up and repped. Yeah, for some shine. Get him out the way. Get the insurance money and all this BS. Because we know he had Georgia locked down. It was locked down. And they were just going to go state to state and lock it down. And that would have been just their jurisdiction. You don't got to be a member of that or nothing. You know, you're either in it or you're watching from the outside. You know, you're like Sharpton and them just going to check like, oh shit, this is what's going on up in here. It's like this? Nah, it's not like this. Everybody knew what was up. Everyone knew what was up. But nobody wanted to talk about that. You know, he just did what Noble Drew Ali told these Moors to do in the 1920s. He did it real time. 90s. Did it real time to show you. It was actually there for you to go see for yourself. Pyramids over here. Right. Autonomy definition. American Heritage Dictionary. Comprehensive Etymological Dictionary. Like we said, Black's Law. What does sovereign mean? Who are the Americans? No, who are the Americans? Answer, no Caucasians are Americans. By nationality, being they are not indigenous of this land, but admit themselves to come here from Europe and its various subdivisions as settlers. This is their supreme grand master right now talking, right? J. Rogers, Nature Knows No Color Line reference. Encyclopedia Britannica, but they don't want to hear what Moors are studying. You want to go what Moors are studying? How come you don't want to go what Moors are studying? Yeah. The Constitution of the Yamasee tribe of Native Americans, the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. First and foremost, let us state that we are back on our holy land, Wahani, the golden city in Eatonton, Georgia, which we call Kodesh. This is only a small part of our land. Had this stuff locked down. Locked down. But we'll fly through that. We'll fly through that and check this. Check this. Remember, this is their constitution, right? Check this, right? Check this. Check this right here. Peep game. You want receipts? Here's some receipts for that ass. We affirm that the evidence against a Yamasee tribe of Native Americans, United Nuwapian Nation of Moors, must be complete proof beyond any doubt. We affirm that our nation of Yamasee tribe of Native Americans, United Nuwapian Nation of Moors, shall never be destroyed for his or her lack of knowledge of the truth about the laws and constitutions of other nations, and he or she will be able to defend him or herself with facts. Part 1. We must have Statute 1. Truth. We the people must know the truth of ourselves, our story, which predates his story, and our own language, culture, and our religion to the ancient ones. We must be truthful. We must be truthful when dealing with each other, and must live by and stand for the truth and nothing but the truth, so be it. By language, we mean Nuwapic, the ancient language of our ancestors and the language of our choice, created by, recreated for us by our Maku, Malachi Zadok York El. By history of our story, we mean that of our ancestors, the Nuban of Uganda, who moved westward to become the Olmecs, Yamasee natives of these very land, now being called America. So that was truth. And then Statute 2, justice. We the people must learn to assimilate, to distribute, and to pass judgment justly and with impartiality, not as we presently live in an unjust and inhumane government, which is biased to the Euro-Americans and foreigners. We do not have the better interests of security, of free state, nor the rights of the people to self-determination and fair judicial practices in mind, under their present self-established penal systems and courts without justice for all. They don't have our people in their hearts and minds to receive fair treatment, though they claim, in God we trust. And then Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And then Statute 3, peace. Hold on a second. And then Statute 4, freedom. Now, if Statute 5 is what we think it is, if Statute 1 is truth, and Statute 2 is justice, and Statute 3 is peace, and Statute 4 is freedom, guess what Statute 5 is? You want to guess? Put 5,000 on it. Put your head on it. All the traders, put your head on it. That's what we want. We want your head. Let's just see. Statute 5. Statute 5. Love. We the people must relearn to love ourselves. We must care. We must love our images, our cultures, our past contributions to world improvement and accomplishments. This will breed the love of others as we learn to love our Nuwapian, Moorish selves. That is both our appearance as well as our intelligence. We must relearn to accept all Nuwapian Moors as family and tribes and nations. We are one community or people with the same origin. We must reject all foreign given titles that we do not choose to be called by or identify by. We must reject all religions and cultures that do not highlight our presence and cultures. Respect each other and every foreign religion, culture, people, and their customs in the environments in which they belong. The freedoms of choice and self-determination in the environments in which they belong. They must become more concerned with the health, welfare, environment, economic, mental, and physical stability of each other. We must do all in our power to prevent our people from mental depression and physical degradation, self-destruction by the use of any and all substances of abuse. For we practiced by nature healthy living before we came in contact with those who wished us physical and mental harm. We are indeed our brother's keepers. So, if the first 5 statutes of the Nuwapian Moorish Constitution are the 5 principles of Noble Drew Ali, how are you telling me this is about some Dr. York L and all this? If he's telling you about Nuwapian Moorish selves, so he told them about Nuwapian Moorish selves, and they built pyramids and all that. And then he gets kidnapped, and then everything gets bulldozed, and then they're now playing Tamarian games. And they're comfortable. And the Tamarian stuff. And then people have his book selling them for $6,000. Because it was part of the plan. It was part of the plan to get him out of the way. Because he had Drew Ali on the front, back, side, in the oven. The microwave was going. Something was in that. Everything was going with Noble Drew Ali. Man, all the people had to do was read. He called them Moors, Nuwapian Moorish, Nuwapian Moors. Constitution says Nuwapian Moors on it. So if they're Nuwapian Moors, then that means NOI are Moors, and Hebrew Israelites are Moors, and the conscious community are Moors, and are you gonna tell me? Are you really gonna tell me that the empaths are Moors? Even the empaths are Moors. If Nuwapians are Moors and Moorish, then why wouldn't everybody else be that? The Moor Science Temple is Moorish. Nation Islam origin is Moorish. UNIA Foundation is Moorish. Hebrew Israelite Foundation is Moorish. Nuwapian Foundation is Moorish. Moor Science Temple Foundation is Moorish. Kemetic, whatever, foundation is Moorish. Because all of them can't deny that Egypt is North Africa if they're going to play over there. The Nuwapian nation of Moors. How come they didn't tell you all that? How come they didn't tell you all that?
This is what it's about. Wusabat, or Wuluwap, it's the science of sciences and the science in science. It's the science of right knowledge, right wisdom, right thinking, right understanding, which leads to right reasoning and right action. And we lack right action, and because we lack right reasoning and right thinking, because even our psychology comes from the point of view of our oppressors. And we have to pull our minds out of their minds, stop defining our reality based on our oppressors, because it only keeps them in power. And another thing that Dr. York did was he emphasized that it wasn't just the...
What's this Dr. York thing? Where's his L at? Just like Phil Valentine, where's his L at? Where's Dr. Blair's Bay at? Where's Hemet's Bay at? Where's Sebi's El Bay de Aler Ali at? So you never get anywhere. Everybody's trying to stop you from being Moors. Because that's the only salvation. There ain't nothing else. We tried every school of thought already. We just showed you Nuwapians made it to the top because Dr. York said, okay, forget all this. Right? He said, forget all that stuff. Forget all that stuff from Imam Isa in the book Who is Noble Drew Ali. And me throwing shade on Noble Drew Ali and calling him a Mason and all that stuff. Forget all that stuff. All that stuff was BS. The truth is, Noble Drew Ali is the foundation. He's in your holy books. He's in your... Oh yeah, where's Dr. G's L or whatever at? And all these people who are up there, all these Nuwapians who are up there, where's their... And the people in the chat, listen, where are they at? Where's all their L's and B's at? I see a L there, I see a L, see a B, see a L there, kind of squeezing in, see a 9, Ether, Rahubat and all that. Forget the Rahubat, Islam. We're in the Nuwapian nation of Moors. Not just Rahubat only. You're going to say Islam too. You're going to say Assalamu alaikum. But they want to play there the new age, whatever. Because remember, they said you can't go and get his books or whatever. So you're going to go to any clown Nuwapian out here. And we know that they're clowns. Because they should be like their master teacher. They should be like their master teacher and pushing the program. They should be like their master teacher in their holy tablets. Their master and their teacher, the master teacher in their holy tablets, telling them that Drew Ali is the foundation of this. He's one of the ones that if it wasn't for him and Deuce Muhammad Ali, there wouldn't be any united Nuwapian nation of Moors. That these people destroyed because of traitors. And it's the same game over and over and over and over again. And the only people that got close, if we go with the traitor narrative, the only people that got close was when they talked about it in Judas, when they They thought he might be a sellout. And they had the gun on him like, we really think you're a sellout, bro. We really think you're a sellout right now. And then they gave him the test. And he flew past it. Flew past the test and lived. When they shouldn't even thought about it. Fred Hampton might still be alive today. But they thought about it. When they knew, their heart, their soul, even throughout the whole thing. Up until that point, you knew he was funny. Knew he was funny. It's all about your nationality and your birthrights that we're Moors. Take it from Dr. Malachi York L. Take it from him. Don't take it from Canaanland Moors, Moorish MC and Cujo and all that. Don't take it from. Don't do that. Saint Kevin and all that stuff. Don't take it from. Take it from Dr. Malachi York L. Take it from him. Because I think he was onto something if he had Eatonton locked down and they were just going to go across the highway and get the other land on the other side of the highway. Why? Because Europeans who on that side were like, you could have your stuff back. If you're doing it like that, here's your stuff back. Europeans living in Eatonton for years, giving up their stuff to the Nuwapians. People didn't let you know how serious it was. Huh? We knew people who lived on the land. It was crazy. It was crazy how far they pushed the envelope. Right? In the South, in the slavery and all the BS. They enslaved nothing. Europeans were giving up their stuff to the Nuwapians. Turbans and fezzes and hijabs and all this stuff. Think these people didn't know what was going on? Return of the ancients and all that. You think it wasn't real at that point for them? All that Christian stuff out the window. We're Mormon. We're Mormon. Anything is yours, we're down. You just make the claim and it's yours. That place on lockdown because of some Moorish nationality. People today are convincing you of some BS. Right.
Members of the militia group Rise of the Moors that were arrested after a standoff in Massachusetts earlier this month have filed federal